Because of her injury, Su Mianmian was ordered by Huating to rest at home. Don't go to class today. Yesterday was so tiring, you should just stay home and rest. Oh. Uncle, what time are you coming home today? I don't know, I've been quite busy lately. Su Mianmian looked up with a disappointed expression and said. Oh. Huating gave her a deep look, and seeing her lower her head in disappointment, he added. Don't worry. I'll try to come back to be with you as soon as possible.
Goodbye,
Uncle. Huating left satisfied. Su Mianmian immediately changed her expression and said to the housekeeper. Quick, get me a car, I need to go out. Uncle won't be back so early today. She planned to go to the cake shop after Huating went to work. She reached out and knocked hard on the door, shouting loudly inside. Boss, I'm here. After a while, the door opened and a tall, muscular man with a full beard appeared, and he said angrily. You finally decided to come over. It's been almost a month, and you didn't call once. I thought you'd disappeared. I'm sorry to have worried you. The boss felt a little frustrated by Su Mianmian's nonchalant tone. He took a deep breath and asked. I'm glad you're okay, what have you been up to all this time? Su Mianmian replied casually. I went to get married. The boss was drinking coffee when she said this, and upon hearing it, he spat out the water with a pft. Are you kidding me? How old are you? I'm not even married yet, how come you're married? The boss patted his chest forcefully, choking on his phlegm. Boss, you're so old and you're still not married? Damn it. I'm only in my early 20s. I'm not old at all. What? I don't believe it. Su Mianmian said with a hint of sympathy. The boss was so upset by Su Mianmian's words and looking at Su Mianmian's innocent face, he asked. Never mind. What did you do here today? Did you come here to annoy me? Boss, I want to learn how to make cakes from you. Su Mianmian said with a serious expression. Come on, I tried to lecture you before, but you were too lazy to learn. Whenever she was around, he would often skip work. Su Mianmian was really worried that once she learned how to make cakes, the boss would dump even the daily cake-making job on her. Thanks, boss. Outside the door, the driver and bodyguard who were responsible for protecting Su Mianmian and escorting her looked at each other, and they all saw the same question in each other's eyes. Is Madam going to have an affair? They went in. Report it to the boss. An hour or two later, the cake made by Su Mianmian was ready. Looks pretty good, you're very talented. Su Mianmian looked deeply moved and said. Really? Thank you for your guidance, boss. The boss turned around and rummaged through a cardboard box. I have nothing more to teach you. Young lady, I see you have great talent, so I'll give this to you. He took out a notebook filled with all sorts of strange marks. And handed it to Su Mianmian, saying heavily. This heirloom notebook is filled with my cake-making tips, I hope you will cherish it. I will. The two officially handed over the reins, what a sacred moment. But then, a loud bang was heard from the door. Huating, dressed in all black and rushed in with a dark expression. Huating glared at her fiercely and saw Su Mianmian holding hands happily with a scoundrel. Pleasant. Holding hands. What the heck is that? Su Mianmian looked at him in shock and said, Uncle? What brings you here? Wasn't he at work? Why is he here? What are you doing? Huating asked coldly. Damn it. How dare someone touch his little lamb's hand? They must be tired of living. Didn't I mention last time that I wanted to make a cake for you? She took out the cake she had made. Upon hearing this, Huating looked at the docile little lamb trying to please him, and his anger subsided considerably. Su Mianmian was not intimidated by Huating's tone. She had spent some time with the uncle and had a general idea of his temperament. It looks pretty delicious. She smiled and placed the cut cake in front of him. Huating ate with a blank expression. Su Mianmian couldn't discern anything from his expression, so she had no choice but to ask. Is it delicious? Not bad. He said coldly. This behavior suggests they like the food, right? Uncle, should we save some for Dong Dong? Su Mianmian asked. Ting stopped what he was doing, a little annoyed, then gracefully ate another spoonful of cake, saying, "Just buy a couple for Dong Dong to take back, that's enough for him." Su Mian blinked, thinking, Dong Dong will cry if he knows the truth. Ting reached out and finished the rest of the cake. He handed the empty plate to Su Mian, who blinked and cut him another large piece of cake. "Bye-bye, boss. I'll come visit you again next time. Bye-bye." When everyone has left, the owner was terrified by Ting's appearance. He secretly ran upstairs, took out his phone, and dialed a number. "Brother. I saw Ting. He shouldn't have recognized me. Oh right, I think I found Ting's weakness." Finally, Ting agreed to let her go to school. Su Mian had been cooped up at home for ages, she had never looked forward to going to school so much. "Have you memorized everything?" Ting asked coldly. Su Mian raised her right hand and nodded vigorously, obediently saying, "I can't go out with anyone casually. I have to go home immediately after class. Also, I have to carry my phone with me at all times. If you call me, uncle, I have to answer within 3 rings." Ting felt a little relieved seeing Su Mian's obedient and well-behaved appearance. He lowered his head and kissed his little wife's tiny lips. "Okay, be careful." Su Mian got out of the car, turned a corner with a blank expression, and walked into the school gate. As she passed the school carriage, she was surrounded by 3 girls in the corner of the school. She was completely confused. "You despicable woman! Are they talking about her?" A girl who seemed to be the gang leader angrily pointed at Su Mian and shouted. She kept Lu Huifeng hanging on by his feet, and after he confessed his feelings, she rejected him harshly, making him leave the academy and travel the world for love. Oh my god! Lu Huifeng, she only stole some of his food. He can't possibly drop out of school just because he was upset about having his snacks stolen, can he? "Are you sure you haven't got the wrong person?" Su Mian asked, puzzled. "Stop pretending. It's one thing if others don't know. My dad is the vice principal, and Prince was expelled because of you. Sisters, don't listen to her excuses. Let's fight. We must avenge Prince. Yes, avenge the prince. Let's tear her clothes off first. Take pictures and post them online." The principal's daughter suggested a wicked idea. "Holy crap! You guys are serious? She's a total weakling in combat. She might not even be able to beat 1 people, let alone 3. Wait a moment." Several girls surrounded Su Mian and walked towards her, looking like they wanted to tear her apart. Su Mian said with a fawning smile, "There's been a misunderstanding, could you give me a little time to explain?" "Stop listening to her nonsense. Go!" the principal's daughter shouted. She noticed a wooden bucket filled with water placed not far behind her. "Grab her! Don't even think about running away!" They surrounded Su Mian when she was on her way to PE class. On the way, she happened to pass a botanical garden, and the wooden barrel she was in was 100% filled with fertilizer. With such a strong flavor, it must be all natural. As they approached, Su Mian subtly sidestepped them, walked to the wooden tub behind her, picked up a wooden ladle from inside, and poured the liquid over them. Everyone was so startled that they all jumped aside. One of them, who unfortunately got some water on her sleeve, took a sniff and almost vomited. She wailed. "Oh my god! What's that smell? What a stench! What is this? This is the food that you rich young ladies and gentlemen waste every day." Abbreviation, SWIL. Su Mian was overjoyed to hear their conversation. If she weren't in such an awkward situation, she would have loved to burst out laughing. "Su Mian, you are truly despicable and shameless." The principal's daughter cursed fiercely. "Didn't you say you were going to tear my clothes? Come on! I'll make you stink so badly you won't be able to wash them clean until next year. You just wait. We'll be back. Oh my god! That's disgusting." A group of people from the principal's daughter's side escaped at the speed of light. They left with some harsh words. Thankfully, the swill bucket at the back door hadn't been emptied yet, otherwise I don't know what to do. After watching them leave, Su Mian put down the wooden tub and washed her hands thoroughly at the tap. She sniffed herself and thankfully there was no strange smell. However, this time the resolution was rather embarrassing, and judging from their reaction, they will definitely come looking for trouble again. She had a feeling that her peaceful campus life was coming to an end. Su Mianmian's intuition was indeed very accurate. The principal's daughter didn't keep her waiting long. She had someone block her at the classroom door after school that day. Su Mianmian looked at the ill-intentioned people in front of her and silently counted them. There were actually 10 people, more than twice as many as in the morning. It's impressive that she managed to gather so many people in such a short time just to beat her up. This is none of your business. Get out of here. What are you still standing there for? If you don't leave, I'll whip you too. The girl next to her started shooing her away. The students looked at each other, and soon the classroom, which had been full of people, had left. What do you want to do? Su Mianmian asked calmly. Seeing the fear on Su Mianmian's face, the principal's daughter felt a surge of spicy pleasure. She laughed and said, "You shameless bitch. I only planned to beat you up, but you dared to treat us like that this morning. I'll teach you a lesson. Now let's see where you run to, I'm going to slash your face." She wanted to tear Su Mianmian apart just by looking at her sweet face. Holy crap! They even used a knife. Su Mianmian's face turned pale. This was her first experience with school bullying, and she was both scared and at a loss. She would never allow such a thing to happen to her. If it had to be that way, she would rather. Don't come any closer. If you dare come any closer, I'll jump off the building. Su Mianmian climbed onto the window, one foot sticking out of the window while the other half of her body remained inside. Although she always seemed weak and easy to bully, she had her own dignity and wouldn't let anyone trample on it.